Two cars that do this, maybe three. Unimog, Land Cruiser, and Land Rover. Unbelievable. Hi guys, welcome back. Now last day number 6. I've been out in the bushes and out in the swamp for like 6 days, and it's been great. Been bow hunting. Been on some areas where cars or normal cars wouldn't go. And as you can see, the Land Rover also looks like it's been out there having fun as well. It's really dirty, and I basically have had everything, all warning lights more or less coming on during the last 6 days. So let's have a look at that.
Super commercial.
That's freaking cool. Awesome. As you can see, it's very dirty at the moment, and it's got a plastic layer on top. It's fully aluminum, so it should be able to take it, but the hood and most of the sides as well has a plastic foil as well that I put on it. And now we're going to see if we can take it out of the wrapping it has right now. It is really dirty, as you can see. I had water up to the side of the car, and I have some video later in the video. You'll see that as well because I filmed it too. It looks really like it's kind of dirty all the way around, and that's how it looks like after being bow hunting for like 4 to 5 days. So let's have a look at the instrument panel and take the warning lights and bring it back to normal again. So here we are inside the car, and let's see what we got. There's probably a lot of lights coming on since it's been submerged in water. So let's have a look. I got brake pads and all kinds of stuff coming up, but don't worry, we'll get that sorted as well. Now let's see what we got. Well, the fuel light's easy because I came home yesterday. That's basically what it is. But anyway, brake light, check any warning light and so forth. That's what we're going to start with. Let's have a look at it. Oh, me and my Land Rover bow hunting. Here we go. Awesome car. This is the first time I'm actually opening the hood on this in these days. So let's see how much the dirt we got in here. Everything looks quite nice. Aircon fillers and stuff like that is actually quite nice. It looks good. We got some big pine tree stuff coming in and out. Have a look at this. That's fine. It looks pretty good, even though I had water all the way up underneath up there as well. You can probably see it. See right there. There's water actually coming up. It's been spraying all over the place. So yes, the engine has had a little bit of a rough time, that's for sure. But generally speaking, it's been doing quite well. Well, we're here at the gas station, and some people probably ask me, why do you drive it down to almost no range on the Land Rover before you take care of it? There's actually a very good reason for it. It's been out doing a lot of stuff these past 5 days, as I said earlier in the video, and I just want to make sure that I get everything clean from the beginning. So the Land Rover is very sensitive on the fuel, and especially on the fuel grading as well. So you have to take the highest octane you can get, and here where I'm at right now, I'm actually on 93, and I want to get even higher, so I'm only taking a little bit of gas here because I want the fuel tank to be clean. And then I'm going to put some additives in for the fuel injectors as well, so it's going to run the whole tank, the whole next tank at least, for cleaning the injectors and also on the fuel side system. If you do go down on lower grades on the fuel, you're risking fuel engine warning lights coming on with all different kinds. Could be anything from low sensing O2 sensors to all kinds of stuff that's kind of hard to work with. We'll do that today as well, but I'm going to go ahead and go all the way up on grade, and then it should take care of all these small minor issues that could come up with the check warning light. So do yourself a favor, take the high grade. It will actually take give you about 2 days maybe of a period where you can get the engine control unit to get everything adjusted, and you'll have a nice running car afterwards. And now we're going down to the pressure washer and clean out the car, get everything out. We're going with the pressurizing and also pressure washing, and here's how to check a few more things. Everything's been cleaned out. Let's see how it goes. Let's see if we can get some of those lights out. It's always nice to work on a clean car. That way you know you're not going to go ahead and hurt yourself as well. So there's numerous good things about that as well. So the borescope says it's actually quite okay on the outside pads. That doesn't mean necessarily that it might be good on the inside, because on the inside it might be stuck because of all the sand and everything else that I've been driving through. But basically the sensor is sitting right there. It's actually this wire going down, and it's going into the brake pads right there, and this is on the left front wheel where this is measured. There's also another one that's gotten two, mean that you have to change them of course all the way around, and the other one is on the rear right wheel, and that is this wire you got right here. So let's see if we can find it for you, get a picture. This wire you got right there, that goes in there as well, and this is actually attached to the brake pads in here as well. So when they go contact with the ground, it comes up with a warning light on your dashboard. So I'm going to take the front wheel off first, because those are the last ones I actually changed. There might be new brake pads that I need, and they have been working hard in sand and everything else on water this weekend, so it could very well be that it needs new brake pads. Once the wheel is removed, it looks actually pretty clean. Always put it in underneath, that way if something goes wrong with the jacks or whatever might happen, it can only fall to that part, and then you know how far you are. You can also jack it up for safety reasons. That would be a good idea. In this case I'm quite fine with what I got, so let's get moving with this thing. Well, found the mistake. There's plenty of brake pads, which I thought as well, and it's a little bit dirty though, but it's not that bad. However, what have happened in the water and all the splashing that have been going on, it's been grinding through the wire here, and that's the reason for it, and that's why it comes up with an indication that it doesn't work. So it's been running onto the wheel when we've been driving probably, and then in time this part has come apart, and now it's just a matter of fixing it. So we'll fix it, and then I'll use a zip tie to keep it over to the other kind of wires here as well. And once the leads are completely, let's say, corrected to where it's supposed to be connected in between, and the shield comes back in, I'm quite sure that the Land Rover light is going to be out. So check that, as well as you can check the sensor itself is right here in between the brake pads, and it runs this way up and through the computer, and that's why you get the light in the instrumentation. So here's the sensor. I just pulled it out to clean it. As you can see in here, it's clean now. And to check the brake pads that the computer is actually telling me, it's kind of easy. I got plenty of brake pads in there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's plenty on both sides, and you can see it up here as well. Really a lot actually. So it's not the problem. The reason why this thing came on is because over here I probably earlier did not pull it up in the clamp here to hold it away from the wheel. So basically, as you can see, the shielding here, the ground wire has been worn over in both ends, and the middle wire is quite good still. That means that there's no connectivity out to, or continuity out to this sensor, and it's supposed to be worn out here whenever the light should be coming on. So this is actually indicating the light up in the instrument panel, so that's my problem. So to see if this is really the problem and can solve it, I've gotten these two connectors, and I'm just going to go ahead and short circuit the shielding on the outside. And if I do that now, then to make sure everything's working, I will ohmed it out with my small multimeter here. Now it of course went out because it has a expiry as well. Let's see here, like this. And when I ohmed it all out, now it should be working. So if we go in now and have a look at the instrument panel, if we're lucky, it should take the brake light away. So it's just a matter of repairing that part, and we should be okay. Let's see. Here it goes on, system is checked, and the brake light is now out. It was supposed to be there, and as you can see, the system is now working, so I don't even have to turn the car on. So from now on, we're just gonna go back, and then we're gonna go ahead and try to restore this connection up here. I'm not gonna order a new one, I'm just gonna go ahead and repair it, and I'll show you how to do that in a second as well. So the plan is to cut the wire right here, and then we're going to use some heat shrink, and we're going to solder these two leads together as well. But we're going to use heat shrink for the inner part like this, and then we're going to solder them together and shrink it up. On the outer part is probably going to be this one here that we're going to put in. That way it will also be watertight. I'll put some silicone in it as well. So here's the wire all cleaned up. So we're just going to attach the red to the red and the black correctly. You need heat shrink on each one of them. So that means I need 3 in this case, 2 small ones and the big one. I'll put the big one on first because that's going to protect the other 2 that's in here, and of course has to fit completely like this, so it looks like it's just an extension on the wire. So make sure you get it all cleaned up and put it all the way up and far back, so you can always pull the sleeve down over it again and then protect it. They'll also be better for the protection in the clamp up here, and you should be fine then. So when you're getting towards the end of it, your heat shrink is now put on. It's okay that it's not too good on the not too big on one of them, but the other one has to be protected completely. And then you just put some apply some heat to it, and once you do that, it's gonna shrink up all around the wire on both sides, of course. And if you do that, it should be watertight as well. Last shrinking coming up. This is the finishing product right here. This is where the heat shrink is now being finalized. So this is the final product. As you can see, the wire is now reattached. It's actually stronger than it was before. Now it's just a matter of getting it zip tied up to the holders up here as well. Get the sensor back in, and then the light should be out there, and we'll have a look at that in a second. Here we go. Zip ties around it. Don't put it around the brake here itself, or the brake line. Make sure it just stays around the ABS and also the sensor itself. Put it around both of them here near one of those collectors. That way you know it's not going to come out again in case you're out in a lot of water. And when you do drive fast through water, it does have a lot of pressure. That's the reason why it came off probably. And then up here as well, of course. That way you have it all around and it won't move out of place again. You won't have the same problem coming up one more time. Let's turn it on and see what happens. There we go. Brake light testing. Brake light out. Now we just have the any more lights. So this one. There you go. Let's see. Read the code. Store ones. P053 got an O2 sensor circuit, slow response bank 2, and actually it's sensor 1. So it's the one right on the manifold before the catalytic converter that's apparently we're having a slow response. Well, it could also be happening or have something to do with the water that I drove through. I've been really pushing it this weekend, so it could very well be. And this is also one of the reasons now that the high octane fuel that I put in earlier will probably go ahead and take care of this problem. So I'm not so nervous about this one right now, but we'll go out and have a look at where it is. It could also be maybe a wire in that one that might have been bad or whatever, so we'll go ahead and have a look at it. It's I'll show you where it is located. It's a little bit difficult to get to, but you have to get it from the top side of the engine compartment. That's the easiest way. O2 sensors on Land Rovers like this, there's 4 of them. I got the V8 and this one. So I got one. The bank 2 is on the driver's side over here, and the bank 1 is on the passenger side on the right side of the vehicle over there. It's actually measured from the first cylinder, so if you take the cover off, which we will in a second, then you can see where it is. The O2 sensor for bank number 2, the sensor 1, which is before the catalytic converter, is actually down here. And I'll put some light on so you can see it. The catalytic converter O2 sensor number 2 is actually up here. Let's see if I can find it for you guys. Got the converter here, and then there is an O2 sensor sitting right up there. If you can see it, but that's actually the O2 sensor 2. So it's not that one that's having a slow response, it's actually the other one sitting in front up there instead. So we'll have a look at the wires in that, and then we'll see what goes on. Now working out 2 sensors, elevate your car as high up as you can, that'll give you more work room underneath, and then turn off the car as soon as you can as well, because you want to work on these with cold, actually preferably cold engine, that'll be the best. For the O2 sensor, and just to check it, there's a special tool that you can buy. It's only a couple of bucks. This is a 22 mil, it's actually quite nice, 7H. This fits straight in, the wire can go in between, and then you actually have extensions that fit straight in here or without it as well, and that should be plenty of lee room for you to go ahead and tighten it up and check it and so forth. Now the engine on this LR3 is very, very sensitive to the O2 sensor, so you have to buy the right ones. Don't buy the cheap ones. Unfortunately, they are a little more expensive. However, they will keep you going for the next 60,000 miles anyway. They're very easy to change. They got special clamps that fit straight in. However, make sure you get the right ones. Don't buy a cheap product. It has to be the Delco ones, otherwise you're going to have problems from now on and until you change them again. So make sure you have the really, really proper spare part in this case. So we'll have a look at it in a second, and then we'll see if we can get rid of this light there. Now I'm on the driver's side here. I don't have a light. I'm on my back already, so it's kind of hard to see, but I hope you guys can get something out of it. Let me get something to point with. This is the catalytic converter coming out, and actually up there, that sensor that you can see right there, let me see if I can get over there, that sensor right there, that's the O2 bank number 2, sensor number 1. That's the one apparently has a slow response. I'm just going to check the wiring and all the other stuff and see what happens. I can see it's gotten a lot of debris, and also some of the mud that we were out in there, so it's definitely gotten water, and it could have had a chance as well. So let me just go ahead and see how that works, and then we're going to clear the codes, and I'm going to drive it for the next 100 miles. Reset the computer up there, so make sure that it actually gets the right data again for the fuel mileage. So I'll reset the engine control unit as well, pulling out a circuit breaker and then put it back in again. Or you can just take the battery off, leave it off 30 seconds and then put it back in. It'll take about a couple days before you will see the correct mileage again, but it should be resetting everything. So let's see how it works. So for tightening it, I just taken the cover off. See, I had some water up here as well. Make sure you put the oil filter cap back on again so you don't drop anything in there. But basically the sensor is actually located all the way in there, and it is easier for tightening to actually come in from above instead. So here we are, still up there, getting ready to clear the code. So we're going back here, if you can see that. One more back. Here we go. Let's see if we can erase the codes here for a second. Yes, because the problem has not been done. The check any warning light is now out, and we're now back to the parking brake is set, and we're back to me not having a seatbelt on. So the car is back to normal now. It's just a matter of I'll go out and reset the computer, and then we'll drive for another couple of days, and it should be running normally. At the moment it runs really nice. I'm gonna run a system check on it as well with live data, and see if that O2 sensor actually does work. So here I'm just logging into the system now, and that should tell me in a second here when it gets the communication going if the O2 sensor on bank number 2, sensor number 1, is actually showing us some kind of let's see, sinus curve. It's going to take a little time before it loads everything. There we go. Let's have the view data, and we'll take the complete data set so we can see it all. Here we go. This is what's going on right now. The engine is running, and if you go down, just keep scrolling down to the O2. Let's see here, it's annoying a little bit. Here you go. Here's an O2 sensor there. There is O2 sensor bank 1, sensor 2. That's not the one. So we go to O2 bank 2, and it's sensor number 2. That's not the one. It's one after the catalytic converter. So we're gonna go down and find the O2 bank 2 sensor 1. Here is one here, O2 sensor 1. Let me just see here, and this is having a sinus. So I'm quite happy with this. It's actually measuring quite okay. Let's go back and see the other one. Just to make sure it actually works. Here is the sensor 2. Let's see that one. It's got one as well. So it is measuring. So what I can get out of this now, I would assume that it probably was due to the hard work during the weekend and also being in captured in water. That's probably what it did. I have some problems with, and that's why we have the check any more light coming on. Let's go up and check the O2 sensors, the remaining ones. Here's one here. Here's the bank 2 sensor number 2. We checked that one. It's got a nice sinus curve as well. Let's go back, and then let's go up and check the O2 sensor bank 2 sensor 2. Let's check that one. Has a very nice sinus curve as well. So all in all, I'd say that the problem is solved. We'll just have to run it for a few days, and I think everything should be fine. I'll take it and put it together, and I'll take it out on a long drive and then see how the fuel economy is gonna be. So that's concluding the bringing back the Land Rover to work again, from being out in the wild, in the bushes, and driving off-road, having a lot of fun in water and mud and what have we. And now we're ready for another one. I hope you enjoyed it, and please feel free to leave any comments. I'll try to see if I can help you with it if you need to. And if you don't mind, you can like and subscribe as well if you feel like it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.